Welcome to Carlos Tercius Uncensored. My name is Carlos Tercius, and we're going to be talking about politics, race, different things. And, this show is just going to talk about my perspectives, what I think about politics, what's going on, giving y'all updates about, news stories or anything like that. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And so we have a lot of things to talk about, especially for today. We're going to be talking about the Trump campaign and what's been going on with the Trump campaign. And a lot has happened, since July. Trump was nearly assassinated. The FBI, the Secret Service, they did a horrible job in protecting his life. And of course, the Secret Service director resigned. And so it was such a chaotic moment. And, Biden was collapsing. The polls were collapsing for him. Momentum for him was pretty much dead. And Democrats were wanting to overthrow him. They were wanting to remove him and not make him run for president anymore. And so, Biden ultimately dropped out, late July. And, for many months before the assassination attempt and Biden dropping out, Trump was actually leading in the polls. Trump was leading in every swing state, but he was also getting competitive and even leading in some cases in Virginia, in New Mexico. He was getting much more traction in those states. And so Democrats and, of course, a lot of rhinos, they got scared and they're like, oh, gosh, we gotta remove Biden. And so Kamala Harris, becomes the Democrat nominee. She immediately becomes the Democrat nominee after Biden drops out. Biden disappears. He is no longer visible in the public. His health has been deteriorating for some time. He was horrible at the debate this past June. And so he's pretty much nowhere anymore. And so Democrats are making sure that he's nowhere because it could hurt Kamala. But they got Kamala in. And, Biden's approval ratings were collapsing. And Kamala Harris's approval ratings were also not that great. And a lot of people, in the Trump world, they thought, oh, well, Kamala Harris is just another horrible Democrat politician. She is actually worse than Biden because look at the way she laughs. Look at the way she, interacts with people. She's just awkward. She's not, genuine whatsoever. And so she'll be an easy person to defeat. Well, she's fundraised a crap ton of money. The media has now shifted gears because for many months the media has been attacking Biden. Now they're cozying up to Kamala. They're saying that Kamala's this great individual. But Kamala has also created big rallies. She's created big events. She has major donors. Celebrities are backing her. So it's not the same as Biden. And so we're starting to see some of the effects. The propaganda machine, of course, is kicking in. But Kamala Harris, with the recent polling now, she's leading in some swing states. Now, I know people in the Trump world, and Trump supporters will push back and say that this is just propaganda. But my whole argument against that is the fact that for many months, Trump was leading in the polls, and we talked about how the polls are good. Trump is doing good. Look, he can even flip Virginia. But now that the polls are unfavorable, Trump supporters are saying this is just all bluff. This is not true. Well, my whole advice for this is that, number one, we cannot let our guard down, okay? We cannot have this mentality that we have it in the bag. It is going to be competitive, okay? Unfortunately, half the country believes that, kids can transition genders and that their genitals need to be mutilated and that, drag shows need to happen in the elementary schools and just in front of kids. I mean, you have the country that believe that you can kill an unborn child after they're born. You have sick, demented people, and that's what she represents. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that support what she does. And so Kamala is now leading Trump in 6 different polling averages. That's what Newsweek is talking about. As of Saturday, Vice President Kamala is leading former President Donald Trump in six national aggregate polls for the extremely tight 2024 presidential election. Harris joined the campaign trail after Joe Biden, unprecedented exit from the race on July 21st, and has since garnered widespread support from the Democrat Party. As of Saturday, six national aggregate polls place her in the lead in presidential polls in margins ranging from zero point 0.5 to 0.2.5 percentage points. And of course, it goes on and explains more details. Now, of course, this is not saying that, she's leading in every poll. There's still some polls that are showing that Trump is leading. But the point is, it's getting competitive. It's getting much more tighter. And, for a while, Trump had like significant momentum. But ever since Kamala's come in, the machine that wants the wars, the machine that wants, a career politician in the White House is going overdrive, and so that's what's happening right now. And a lot of things are happening with the Trump campaign, okay? I mean, the Trump campaign stated that their internal communications were hacked, including Vance's dossier by foreign sources, and this from Fox News. Former President Trump's campaign confirmed to Fox News on Saturday that some of its internal communications were hacked. Liberal media outlet Political has reached out to the campaign after the news outlet started receiving internal Trump documents. These documents were obtained illegally from foreign sources hostile to the United States, intended to interfere with the 2024 election, so chaos throughout the Democratic process, said Stephen Chung, communications director for the Trump campaign. On Friday, a new report from Microsoft found that Iranian hackers broke into the account of high-ranking official of the U.S. presidential campaign in June 2024, which coincides with the close timing of President Trump's election to vice president nominee, blah, blah. And then, of course, after recent reports of an Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump around the same time as the Butler, PA tragedy and so on. So the Trump campaign got hacked. A lot of information got stolen from the Trump campaign. The media is getting negative. A lot of media articles are hitting on Trump. They're boasting and they're promoting Kamala Harris. And so a lot of things are happening right now. So, the Trump administration, well, not the Trump administration, the Trump campaign is starting to slow down. The momentum isn't there anymore. And now you have some people, some prominent right-wing figures that are now getting concerned. Laura Loomer, Tim Pool, so on. They're getting concerned. And so Laura Loomer made this post 2 days ago. And she basically said, President Trump needs to make some serious changes on his campaign ASAP. The ground game is not sufficient. The offense is lacking. The communication is dismal. The momentum is crashing. Why are people want to assist being pushed away instead of being embraced? 88 days left. You need to, a lot more than just vibes. God only knows how many opportunities have been missed. Sad to see talent go to waste. And so people are getting concerned, that the Trump campaign is starting to lose momentum, that, it's not doing a good job. And, there's been criticism also, from the Trump on the Trump campaign that Trump is focusing on issues such as trying to get the black vote when the two groups he needs to target are Hispanics and white working class people. White working class people because Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and so on, that's the base he's going to need. That's what won him in 2016. And Hispanics because of Arizona and Nevada. And also it helps, in general, in Texas and Florida, keeping those states, deep red. But, he's going to have to focus on those two groups, primarily white working class people. But, right now, there's a lot of, there's a lot of lost momentum and people are getting concerned, and the media is just ramping up things for Kamala. And so my whole advice for all of this, is just don't be complacent. For any Trump supporters watching this video, for anyone that doesn't like how the regime has been going on, how they're censoring, our free speech, how they are opening up the borders and allowing a horde of illegal aliens, these barbarians, just coming into the United States and flooding it. If you don't like the current situation, you know, what I recommend is that you get involved. What I recommend is go and talk to your local Republican Party club. Go talk to your local Republican county chapter, whatever it is, statewide, it doesn't matter. Everyone needs to do their part. Everyone needs to do their part because we cannot take things for granted, okay? We cannot assume that Trump's going to win a landslide. Had Biden stayed, and here's the funny thing, had Biden stayed, there is a very good chance that Trump would have won by a very large margin, to the point where he probably could have even flipped some states that haven't been flipped, red for a long time, such as New Mexico, possibly Virginia as well, and New Hampshire. But the point is, Biden got removed, and to be honest, had he stayed, it would have been much more better for Trump, because Biden staying would have been a PR disaster for Democrats. He was a corpse. He's essentially dying. I mean, the guy can't even talk that well. The guy has no clue who the hell he is. And so it would have just been a PR nightmare for Democrats, and Trump would have destroyed him. He would have destroyed him across the whole country. Kamala, despite being, a disgusting human being, despite being someone that slept her way into power, she is young and she's black. Yes, she's Indian. She's technically Indian too, but in the eyes of Democrat voters, where it's the white woke women that are liberal, the black women voters, so on, they see her as this DEI savior because she's a DEI candidate. Let's just be frank. She's young. She's a DEI candidate. And all she has to do is just repeat 3-4 things, and that's it. The Democrats, they don't have to worry about, she's doing a gaffe, oh gosh, she's frozen again. She can still talk, she can still talk. And so it's going to be an uphill battle, and now the machine apparatus is very comfortable with this Kamala because they know that she's alive, and that's all they need. The rest of the work will be done by the deep state. The rest of the work will be done by the media. And so get involved. Register people to vote. Door knock. Help the Trump campaign. Every single body needs to be involved because we cannot take this for granted. This is probably going to be a close election. And there's a lot of things that are happening. Now, of course, 3 months, a lot of things can happen. But, everyone's going to have to do their part. And I hope the Trump campaign, they improve. We're all going to have to, of course, pitch in and make sure that, everything goes well this November, because this whole election cycle is going to be crazy. Okay. I mean, if Kamala wins, the border's going to be open. They're going to confiscate your guns. They're going to have abortion. If the kid is 2 years old, they're going to have abortion when the kid's 2 years old. Kamala is a communist, and that's what we got to label her as. She's not a liberal. She is a communist. She is someone that wants to kill your unborn children. She is someone that wants to take away your guns. She is someone that is going to destroy this country forever. And not only that, she is someone that's going to allow the great replacement to happen. Don't expect 10 million illegal barbarian aliens. Expect 100 million. And the country will become a vassal colony for the United Nations. So have that in mind. Constructive criticism is good, but you got to have action. You got to get involved. You got to help the Trump campaign. We all got to help the Trump campaign. We all got to help Trump. And we just got to make sure that Trump makes it and Trump wins this November and we make America great again.